feel nostalgic for a game, you feel like you never left. Because Reach is like, since it released, I feel like I haven't actually like gone away from it, even when it came out on the MCC. Because like every Halo game since Reach, I think I've kind of bounced between whatever is most recent and Reach. So in Halo 4's case, I had a good time with that. Went back to Reach after a bit. MCC, could not play multiplayer when it launched. Went back to Reach for a bit.
Yep.
Halo 5, not quite my cup of tea. Went back to Halo Reach. MCC comes out on PC. The first game is Halo Reach, so I've been playing that. Like, it's the most commonly seen game in the customs browser. Like, it's one of the most searched in the match composer. So, like, I don't feel like nostalgic for it because I felt like I've never left. So
yeah, it's still relevant.
Yeah, it's still relevant. Like, how do you make a retrospective on a game that you don't feel like a fondness from it being a long time ago for, you know?
Well,
like,
I don't know. Ask any modern YouTuber now. I thought I was like pulling my fucking hair out when I saw Black Ops 6 Zombies retrospective 2 weeks after the game launched. I had to stop myself from leaving an angry comment.
Like, we just got here. What do you mean retrospective?
Do you mean review? I get that way with the word lore too. Like, I saw somebody do the lore of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was like, do you fucking mean United States history? What do you mean lore? This isn't Elder Scrolls.
Oh man, that's so good. Is this just like the perfect way to introduce?
Oh my god, I forgot that we're
Warthog Radio.
That is such a good way to start.
Do you mean the history of the United States of America?
Oh my god, like, we were just yapping. I totally forgot we were recording. Yeah, it's welcome back to Warthog Radio. It's been a little while.
In this episode, we're doing a retrospective of Black Ops 6 Zombies.
It's been a little while. Appreciate everybody for being patient. But thankfully there is quite a bit to talk about. Maybe not necessarily Halo Infinite related, but there is Halo stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, most certainly. I think that like it kind of goes without saying. Like, it doesn't even need an introduction because everyone just knows. Like, it seemed for this short period of about a week, the console wars were done. They were ended. And then I went and checked the Helldivers 2 Reddit. And then it was just like pure toxicity about Xbox players being stupid.
So, for those out of the loop, the formerly PlayStation exclusive game, Helldivers, has released on the Xbox console. And not only that, the PlayStation exclusive, now on Xbox, has a Halo crossover.
It was a pretty surreal moment seeing the trailer for that and getting both Xbox and PlayStation branding on the same thing.
Yeah,
never thought I'd see that happen.
Yeah, it's just nuts. And then you walk into like your local Walmart or whatever, and there's like physical copies for the PlayStation 5 of Gears of War Reloaded.
Yeah, it's
like they're over.
Weird. It's a weird time to be alive. I think I almost want to quote Lord Hood here and say, like, you know, we must not forget those who ventured into the howling darkness and did not return, the veterans of the console wars. You know,
oh man,
they ennobled all of us,
dude.
They shall not be forgotten.
Oh my god, I had many stressed out YouTube comment fights back in the day in high school. I partook.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I was fortunate in high school that most of my immediate group of friends and my year group were all on Xbox. there was like maybe 2 kids who played on PlayStation, and we always used to give them mad shit because they got the DLCs for Call of Duty like a month later. And then that changed.
And then, I was going to say, and then with Black Ops 3, we had to quietly... Black Ops was never good to begin with. You know what? I think I like Battlefield better.
The one that was always used to hit close to home was when, the PlayStation kids used to call it, oh man, well, I mean, at least, we have Killzone. We haven't got Halo on our platform.
Man,
it's like, bro,
Halo.
Don't throw knives at me.
That's an insult I haven't heard in, God, decades.
yeah. For good reason. It's very immature.
Yeah, that's, wow. Oh my God, that took me back. Yeah, gosh, I
getting hit by a flashbang.
Yeah, I remember the people in like the school like arguing about like Killzone being so much more realistic, which sounds ridiculous now coming out of my mouth because I'm like the space Nazis with the red eyes,
which coincidentally also have a crossover with Helldivers.
Oh my God, yeah, that's another Helldivers link. Yeah, oh my God. This is so a subscriber actually gifted me Helldivers 2 for the PC.
Hell yeah.
And it was very difficult to get into. It was very overwhelming. As well as my poor GTX 1080 Ti.
Oh brother.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this poor thing. It wants release. And I'm not giving it release, Like I
please, late night, I beg for the sweet
I've done my time.
Death.
I've done what you asked. Can you please let me rest now?
No. Boots up Helldivers.
Yeah. I'm gonna use you until you do not function anymore. Because have you seen the price of graphics cards?
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, and I found a way to get it to run at a stable, relatively smooth frame rate, but it kind of became like a soupy, reconstructed mess because I had to use like the various upscalers and stuff like that. And I was like, this doesn't feel like... This feels like offensive to Helldivers, Like, I don't think like the fog and the mist in the atmosphere and all the particle effects should look like pixely, blurry noise.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I put it on the back burners till I could get like an upgrade, which never came. I still have the 1080 Ti, but thanks to the Xbox release of Helldivers, I can now play the game with visuals that look really pretty, and it's helped me come to grips with the mechanics of the game, how it should look and everything. And now I've even returned to the PC and I've been like, you know what? I know what this game looks like. I'm okay with it kind of being blurry and soupy. And now I freaking love Helldivers. It's so much goddamn fun.
It's great to have a solid PvE game in a market that is predominantly like, I want to say dominated at the moment by PvP. You've got battle royales, you've got your arena shooters or arcade shooters and whatnot. So to have something that is a little bit more relaxed. Oh, I don't want to call Helldivers relaxed because when you get to those higher difficulties, it is it's stressful.
Helldivers can be relaxed,
but it can be like there's some kind of the best way that I would describe Helldivers is that it's a bit like the Michael Bay Transformers movies. Like you can kind of go into it and switch off your brain and really, really, really enjoy it. And like there's some really good, just like entertaining bits of action that happen randomly. Like it's so I mean, we were talking earlier off I was going to say offline, off stream, I guess it's offline, about how like when you pull on the one thread of Super Earth, suddenly the entire thing unravels. So yeah, don't think about the lore of it too seriously.
I was venting to my stream chat. Like one of the enemy races in Helldivers are these gigantic alien bugs that are somehow interplanetary, like they can hop from planet to planet. And they were like, yeah, they like launch spores to other planets. And I was like, no, like I was getting so mad. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like do they throw so hard that they leave the atmosphere of the planet? And then somebody was like, no, they probably like have like launchers. And I was like, biological railguns that can launch bugs to other planets? So, but it's like, who cares? Like, Helldivers is just like a lot of fun. Like, hell yeah, the bugs are invading.
Yeah, it just speaks like a primal urge within everyone. I think is just like this deep-seated hatred of large arachnids and other insects.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just propels us to want to wipe them out.
Yeah, it's like the perfect unifying apolitical enemy type. Giant disgusting bugs.
Undemocratic socialist bugs. Yeah, they're great. I mean, not so much at the moment. They're a pain in the ass.
The current event going on, the gloom's a nightmare.
It really is. It really is. Speaking from my own experience, personal anecdote, I've been playing Helldivers 2 pretty much since it came out, and I have a friend who just like mains the game. Like he's on it pretty much every day. He's level 150.
Wow.
He's got something stupid like 1,000 hours in it already, if not more. And we hopped onto this is why I told you in your stream the other day, for the love of God, don't go to I've forgotten how to pronounce it. Oshwane, I think it's called. Just don't fucking go there, man.
The bug planet.
Yeah, because we normally play on like, you know, on Helldive or Super Helldive. We like the rush, you know, getting in there and really having to fend for your lives. But we tried going in on, I think, like difficulty 8 or 7 and just got absolutely cooked. Like it was completely not what we were expecting. You've got the Hive Lord boss, which is that is stressful.
I only just found out about him because I have not gotten up to that difficulty yet. So there are things that I have not seen yet that people have like warned me about in hushed whispers, lest they hear.
I feel like I've got the 1,000-yard stare right now. Just thinking about like endless bile titans and the Hive Lord and the flying dragon roaches that breathe hot green fire on the battlefield as there's the men around me cooked alive and I couldn't do anything about it.
Well, there's like so we should probably go, since you have so much, like, you're like a veteran. It's like interviewing a veteran. Like, to set the stage, Helldivers, what makes it really compelling is that it's never ending. Like, you can't beat Helldivers. And there's a galactic map of all of these planets, and in the very center of the galaxy is Super Earth. You know, the center of the universe, Super Earth, which is very funny.
The home of managed democracy.
Managed democracy. Democracy that is so democratic that they vote for you because they know best. So it's like this fascist nightmare where everybody is brainwashed and they like give children rifles at the age of 16. And so that they'll enlist at the age of 18. And it's just like, so they've got like millions and millions of brainwashed soldiers that are willing to run screaming into fire, like, for democracy, for Super Earth, like sacrificing themselves, and we play as those guys. Super Earth has started wars with 3 different enemy factions that are constantly like crawling through the galaxy to the center where Super Earth is. And there's this constant push and pull where some planets are like 100% taken over. So players need to just throw themselves at these planets to liberate them and push back the enemy horde. And sometimes, like, special things will happen. Like, you detonate a black hole bomb on a planet, and it introduces another alien race, and that's now a new problem. But there's been many stories throughout the last year of Helldivers' insane live service and the constant defense of Super Earth. And since you are a veteran, you should walk us through the history from the launch of the game up to where we are now.
There are some things that veterans can just not speak about out of fear of triggering flashbacks. But I mean, the amazing thing about Helldivers is that it is an ongoing story, and that everyone's involvement does play a part in this broader kind of narrative. And sometimes it'll be the strangest things that the developers don't intend to actually have, or to put an emphasis on, that the community for some reason will just rally behind and make a big deal about.
Is that John Helldiver? Is that one of those things? I've seen references to John Helldiver, and I don't know who that is.
He's the guy from the opening cutscene who gets his family mauled by the bugs and then enlists to become a Helldiver.
Is that his name?
John Helldiver. Yes.
Wait, for real? Or is that what the community's named him?
I think that's what the community's named him, but it's like kind of passed on to the devs, and I think they're referring to him as John Helldiver now as well. Which is another thing that Halo kind of started, I suppose. Yeah, this game wears its Halo references on its sleeves, but we will get to that. So the community will kind of rally behind these things that sometimes the developers have not even like put that much stock or thought into. And the big one that comes to mind is Malevelon Creek, which I'm sure
is this the space Vietnam I've heard people talk about with that 1,000-yard stare? It
was fucked. It was genuinely fucked. It was a point. I sound like a proper veteran. It was a point in time where, for some reason, the developers were going through this phase of like making a lot of the guns in the game really weak. So they obviously got some metrics back or data, and they were like, nah, the guns are doing too good, the game's too easy, so we're just going to nerf a shit bunch of them. And then immediately after, they started this major event where the automatons, which are, one of the major factions in the game, we call them the bots. They started filthy wirebacks. They started goddamn clankers. They started dropping down on the planet and taking Malevelon Creek from us. And it was kind of like a jungle-ish sort of planet. So obviously comparisons were drawn to Vietnam. And oh, dude, man, let me tell you, it was like, imagine the future war scenes from Terminator, right? Where there's purple lasers and shit flying. You see these red beaming eyes off in the distance. You're on a dark planet, like buried in the trees, like crawling through the scrubs. Like, it was something else, man. I've never experienced war as viscerally in a video game since Malevelon Creek. And it's just like one of those things that the entire community banded around, and it became a massive meme online. And it's like, there's no other game truly like Helldivers. It's hard to quantify just how much stock and how much believability the community add to these events. And it's a ton of fun. And I think now what's happening with the gloom worlds, which are often the bug part of space of the galaxy, retaking those is probably going to be our new Creek. It's going to be like space Afghanistan in this case. It's just like sand everywhere, and people poking out of like tunnels and stuff. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy.
I like oh my god, the space Afghanistan, as you called it. I just like the sense of like isolation and loneliness that I felt driving this huge oil tanker across a barren desert and then being mauled by bugs. I didn't know where they came from or how they found me. They were attacking from underneath my feet and from the sky because they could fly.
They always know where you are. They always know. They can smell your fear.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's what happened with Space Vietnam. Did we win?
Well, we did. Okay. The Helldivers, bravely held the line and retook Malevelon Creek, and as a result, because of how much hype was put into that, the developers have like they awarded people who fought in the creek like these capes. That's a big thing about Helldivers, is like the capes that you can unlock for your character.
That's like their badge of honor. They're like, I remember you have to earn your cape in the tutorial.
Yes. Yeah, and so people who fought at the creek get this very specific cape, and I've already playing, recently with a couple of Xbox divers, people have asked me, that's a really cool cape, where did you get it from? And I go full 1,000-yard stare mode, and I just remember the blood and the oil and how much we fought to try and get the creek back.
The screams.
Yes. And occasionally, like, because it's such a pivotal moment in the Helldivers 2 canon, I guess you could say. Like, occasionally the developers have been like, oh, the bots are getting real close to the creek. What are you guys gonna do about it? And you just see in like the Facebook or like the Instagram comment section, it's like, boys, we're going back to the creek. They ain't gonna fucking take the creek. We're gonna make sure they don't get the creek. Because it's like it's a lot of good people died to take that creek, man. It's we can't let them have it.
That is such an awesome way to like form an emotional bond to a game that is not via like it's pretty damn psychological, let's be honest, but not via like battle pass shit or like weird creepy monetization strategies, just through like gameplay experiences that the player base shares together.
Yeah, just having that narrative that really brings people together and rallies people is a really effective way of getting folks invested. And I mean, the other thing that I love about Helldivers 2 that you were just talking about, battle passes and monetization, is that it's not awful.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's like the super bucks, the super credits that you use to unlock the battle passes or the war bonds. You can find them just scattered around the maps that you play. If you look around, you can buy them as well. That's completely an option, but you can normally find them on the maps. And like the credits that you use to progress through those war bonds, again, you just get by completing missions, and you get more of them if you play on higher difficulties. So there's an incentive to play on those higher difficulties. And like whenever you complete a major order, which is like a task that is set out for the entire player base to do, and whenever they get completed, you get those medals as well to go and spend in your war bond. So if you tag out of Helldivers for a little bit and you're not, you don't have the time to play, you can come back and have a whole bunch of these medals that you can then go and spend in your war bonds, and just be like, yeah, thank you players for helping me unlock tiers in my battle pass. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was like a moment of almost like I guess like, in some circles, it would be considered like side effects of like trauma. But I like didn't believe for the longest time what like my chat was telling me, that you can earn the battle passes by like playing the game. Like you don't have to spend a dime. Because I was looking at all the battle passes and I was like, oh my God. Oh, this is going to be so much money to get all these weapons that I really want. And they're like, no, you can earn it. it was like, no, you're lying.
Yeah.
There's a catch.
Yeah.
Of course I can't earn
catch.
it. It's a battle pass. What do you think this is? A video game?
What do you think this is? Pre-2013?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You're not supposed to play video games. You're supposed to spend in them.
I've got my credit card right here. What do you mean?
Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm currently on PC farming, those credits, those super credits, because I'm going to get me that ODST crossover on PC, because I have it on the Xbox but not on PC, and I'm going to get it on PC without spending a dime.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And I think that might be a good segue
Into
the ODST Warbond, the crossover that everyone, I think, has always wanted since Helldivers 2 existed, just simply by the very nature of, Helljumpers, Helldivers. There is a lot of similarities.
God, the jealousy that, like, the Halo community felt looking at Helldivers.
Knowing that, that should have been our game.
Yeah,
that should have been for us.
They're even called Helldivers. That sounds like Helljumpers.
Yeah, Arrowhead, the developers of Helldivers, they wear the Halo references on their sleeve, very much so.
There's a ton.
There's a lot of other references to like Starship Troopers and like Warhammer 40k and Space Marines and all that kind of stuff. But really, like, the closest comparison I can make between Helldivers and another science fiction property is Halo. It's like everything down to the design of the ships is very much like Halo inspired. Just like the kind of the way that they are sort of structured. Like, I think someone used to describe the designs of the ships in Halo as like just great big guns. Like the entire design of a ship in Halo is to accommodate the Mac cannon, this massive forward-facing, system that launches a projectile at practically the speed of light into another ship, and the rest of the ship around it is just there to accommodate this thing.
Yeah, it's basically a giant barrel.
Yeah, exactly. And Helldivers is like the design of the ship is very similar. And the fact that it is just like littered with weapons that you can call in while you're there on the ground is very similar in that respect. I mean, the means of transportation for the Helldivers is that they get in these little pods and they just get shot down onto the surface of a planet in a pod that looks basically just like a bullet. Like they just get shot at a planet.
Oh my god, and it's the funniest. Like, it's still funny. It still looks so goofy because it just doesn't make sense. It seems so unsafe. Like, the ODST pods in Halo have like all this protection to protect the user, and they like sit in a chair, and they grip onto these things and they're strapped in and everything. The Helldivers, they like stand on a platform and their feet get locked into place, and then they just get like sunk into their bullet, still standing. So they're standing in that thing while it makes planet fall.
And they just get shot at a planet. Like it is so fucking hard. It is so hard.
Yeah, because they pop out of those things still standing.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah. They got the gun.
Just pull out their guns like, well, here we go. Time to rock and roll. Like it's ridiculous, but it's so much fun.
It's what it reminds me so much of? That intro to multiplayer in Halo Infinite, when that pod drops and the character like looks at the pod and the door just pops open and the Spartan just hops right out, already firing his rifle.
Yeah. There's a lot of very obvious similarities, and I mean, even down to like some of the ordnance or the stratagems you can call in, things like there's the orbital laser, which reminds me a lot of like a glassing beam from like Halo Wars that you could call in Halo Wars 1 and stuff. There's the orbital rail cannon strike, which again is very similar to like a Mac round. It's just like a rail gun that just absolutely domes anything on the receiving end of it. You've got a vehicle that is essentially a Warthog in everything but name.
Oh, yeah.
You've got mech suits, which I think have some similarities to like the Mantis from Halos 4 and 5, if anyone remembers those. And the dropship that you use to escape is very aptly called Pelican 1 and has a similar kind of design
I
to
noticed
Pelicans
that.
from Halo.
It was like, yeah, like Pelican 1 touching down. And I was like, did he say Pelican? And then it looks like a Halo Pelican. I'm like, am I crazy? Like, does anyone else see what I'm seeing here?
Yeah,
like, why is there so many goddamn... There's like a piece of armor that is called like something like S117, and it's green, and it's got pouches of ammo around the tummy. I'm like, I'm not crazy. Like, you see this, right?
And then just to really seal the deal, then they released the ODST Warbond, which, it's very much confirming like this unspoken
love
sort of
unspoken
love,
like a secret affair between these two franchises. Or not secret affair, no, like it's not nefarious. It's like, like love, like secret love between these two. Like finally it's public, they can be together. And they're beautiful together.
They are, and I mean, you can tell that there's a great deal of love there because the amount of effort that went into these weapons and armor sets in this Warbond are incredible. Like it's almost like, I don't want to say pixel for pixel because it's not, but they are so close to their counterparts from Halo 3 ODST, which the Warbond is based around. So you've got Rookie's armor, so standard sort of ODST armor that you can use in Helldivers via Helldiver. You've got the Recon armor, which is based on Dares. It has that similar kind of dark blue hue to it as well, which is really cool. And then we've got 4 guns, which I think maybe made the jealousy in some people a little bit more, because the pump shotgun is one of those weapons.
And not just the pump shotgun, it's the good-looking one.
Yes, yeah, the M90, 6 rounds in the chamber, like fast reload. It's great against the bugs. It's a lot of fun in that regard. It's got the little glowy blue iron sights, which I love.
We haven't seen those since 2010, if we're not counting the remasters.
Yeah. So it's great to have that gun in there. We've got the assault rifle from Halo 3, the MA5C, I think it is. Mm-hmm. So 32 rounds in a mag. It's beefy. It's a beefy feeling gun.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part is that when you aim down sights with it, it's angled off to the side with the reticle in the center, just like the normal, like the actual Halo games. Like there's no iron sights
the reticle off center?
Down sight with.
Is the reticle off center?
I don't think it is, but if it was, that'd be so cool.
Okay, because I looked at the view model for it when you when you're when you aim down the sights with it, you can go into first person view, and for every gun you're looking down the barrel of your weapon, and the assault rifle is the only one where it's hip firing. Even in the first person aiming view, you're still hip firing it because Halo doesn't have aiming down the sights.
Well, it didn't used to, but nowadays.
I got Battlefield on the brain because I've been editing for a Call of Duty YouTuber a couple of Battlefield videos, so I'm thinking of they ruined Battlefield. You know that? Battlefield threads? Yeah, like not to get into like, they ruined Halo. But it's cool that the assault rifle, like they knew. Don't aim down the sights with the Halo assault rifle. Don't do that.
Yeah. Because it's not meant for that. It's not built for that. And of course, being ODST themed, you have the suppressed M6C SOCOM Magnum and the SMG as well, the suppressed SMG, which is awesome to see. And like they function and they work and they sound very close to how they did in the original games. So clearly a lot of love and attention has been put into making those work. And almost as if, you know, we we didn't have time to sort of celebrate this occasion immediately because of how quickly the developers behind Helldivers like jump from one thing to the next. There's already a new Warbond. There's already a new major event. Like it just happens so fast.
Yeah. I'm kind of like overwhelmed, I guess, like at the quality of their live service rollout.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. Almost to the extent that I kind of wish that they would slow down sometimes.
Oh man, so to gush just a little bit about this ODST Warbond, what blows my mind about it is how no expenses were spared. Like so it's Halo 3 ODST themed, like all the marketing and stuff for it. You know, it's got the Helldivers in the rain with the blue color scheme and stuff. Like it's trying to evoke like Halo 3 ODST, and all the weapons are from Halo 3 ODST, and that immediately was like, that's weird. Like really? Because I'd expect them, you know, I'm looking at like Rainbow Six Siege that's done a Halo crossover, and it's like, I don't know, see, here's some Halo 5 assets, here's some Halo Infinite, like it's just random stuff, you know, from the modern Halo games. Like, who cares if it doesn't really...
Slap Master Chief in there, and that'll do.
Yeah, and then like Kelly from Halo 5 for some reason, which has a completely different aesthetic for the armor, and doesn't really reflect how the series looks anymore, but whatever. Yeah. But then coming over to Helldivers, and they've remade those Xbox 360 era assets damn near 1-to-1. And sometimes like more faithfully than 343's own updated assets in Halo Infinite. Like they're
shockingly.
Their nostalgia, like looking at the pistol, I have never seen that ODST pistol in such high fidelity before.
Yeah, it's just like phenomenal to look at how much like effort has gone into recreating those. It's,
and they didn't like greeble it up a little bit, you know, they just like the amount of artistry that went into making sure that it looked exactly like it did on the Xbox 360, but smoothing out the polygonal areas, but then making sure that it doesn't look too simple, because, you know, now it's a very smooth looking Xbox 360 model. Like they work, they look great. The assault rifle has never looked better.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said in the artistry of trying to get something as close to the original as possible without feeling that additional impulse to be like, oh, I can just add a little few things here and there and a couple of touches here and there. Like, no, they just stuck to what made the originals so, and dare I say, iconic. And yeah, they look great in the game, and they honestly fit in quite well amongst the rest of Helldivers 2's arsenal. It's weird. Yeah,
the assault rifle has been awesome as a new Helldivers player because it's relatively hard hitting. It's got 32 rounds per magazine, which, as somebody who hates that the assault rifle now has 36 rounds, I'm like, that's you stole the battle rifle's ammo. Like, go away. The battle rifle is the gun with 36 on it. It's got 32 rounds per reload, and it's really it can penetrate armor, so it's pretty good against a wide variety of bugs, and it fires slow, so the recoil is easy to manage. So it's like the perfect like beginner gun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's meteor armor penetrating as well, and there's quite a few weapons in the game that especially assault rifles. I think the assault rifle class is a bit lacking in that category. It's primarily light armor penetrating. If it's got a faster rate of fire, most of the time it'll be light armor penetrating, but occasionally you get ones that are medium armor pen. And considering the size of the cartridge that the assault rifle fires in the lore, it does make sense for it to be medium armor penetrating. But yeah, it feels like beefy and satisfying to shoot in a way that I don't think I've really felt from a Halo assault rifle since, and this is going to be maybe a bit controversial, but since like Halo 4, which had that really kind of like deep rumbling firing sound. And
I thought you were going to go with Combat Evolved Anniversary.
Well, actually, yeah, and you know what? That too, honestly. That's got a pretty good sort of sound.
Nice rumble to it.
I think, yeah, it's got a good rumble.
I know what you mean,
I mean,
though.
there's kind of that thing with like the Combat Evolved Anniversary weapons, especially the assault rifle, where it's like there's not really much in terms of sort of like visual recoil. It just kind of like gets lifted up slightly like a water hose whenever you fire it for too long.
Yeah.
Like Chief could just hold it completely perfectly downrange.
Yeah. That's before they had the graphics for guns kicking.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, it feels great to use. And yeah, overall, very, very happy. It's got me back into Helldivers again. I was kind of going through a phase where I was like, I'll stop in and play it occasionally, but this has got me and my mates well and truly invested. And as a matter of fact, we're going to play Halo 3 ODST's campaign tonight. We're going to try and do a 4-player. I think you can play 4-player in ODST. I hope you can.
Yes.
Co-op run of the campaign for that, because again, Helldivers 2 got us back into it. So
on the 360,
there is something to be said. There is something to be said about this this crossover having positive effects for Halo as well, hopefully.
Yeah. Kind of like it's, man, like every time that somebody, like a disappointing update comes out for Halo Infinite and like the Halo community throws a fit, and they're like, they should have just let Halo rest. Halo's dead. But then another developer does something with Halo, and it's like, no, like Halo is goddamn cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer for the crossover did numbers on YouTube. It was trending on Twitter for days. Like it really, yeah,
it was trending on YouTube.
Yeah, it stoked like this kind of fire in people that made people sort of remember and realize like, nah, Halo is still cool. People still love this franchise. Like there is a bottomless well of appreciation for it and its art style and the way it looks and sounds. Like the ODST music, man, just hearing those 3 notes on the saxophone at the end of that trailer that teased it initially.
Yeah, people lost their minds.
It was fucking crazy, dude. I remember sitting in a Discord call with a couple of mates of mine, and like we went into it just watching it because like sometimes we'll be chatting in Discord and one of us will share our screens and we'll just be like watching YouTube videos or whatever, or one of us will be playing a game, and one of my mates got up the Helldivers 2 trailer and we were sitting through it like, oh yeah, this is cool, this is some good stuff. Got to the end, like see the rainy streets, and I'm like, nah, no way. No way. Hear the saxophone. I'm like, no, this is not fucking possible. It is the most hyped I've ever been for something, like for a game, in so long. It was just, and like that wasn't just a me thing. That was everyone else in that call. We couldn't believe it. I go onto Twitter and YouTube and everyone's reacting the same way. Like there is so much love and hype still for Halo. It's just the matter of actually like doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah, people freaking like Halo, and Halo is very cool. Like, it's had me like thinking a lot about like the Halo franchise and stuff, and like, okay, like obviously better games, mainline games, but also I was thinking if maybe the fact that most of 343 Industries run on Halo, the successes came from side projects. Like, the mainline stuff seems to consistently disappoint people, where the side projects, Halo Wars 2, pleasant surprise, even if the game financially disappoints. Helldivers is, like, the most hyped people have been about Halo since, like, the launch of Halo Infinite, but it was, like, well-received. It makes me almost wonder if, like, maybe the mainline stuff has too much pressure on it and exploring the corners of the Halo universe would be more fun.
I think there is, there's definitely an argument to be made that I think that, the expectations for the mainline Halo games are way too high. Even when, after Halos 4 and 5, our expectations, I think, were pretty low.
Yeah.
Even for Infinite, like when it first came out, I think the big part of it is content, right? Is that when you go into making a mainline Halo game, the expectation is that there is going to be a lot of content there. And I think that maybe this is an issue on Microsoft's part, that they think that making mainline Halo games are just the safe bet, and that trying to venture too far out to do something different, especially after the underwhelming financial performance of Halo Wars 2, that they don't want to take the risk again on doing something that doesn't have Master Chief's face on the packaging.
But I knew
But then you get like, oh, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I knew a friend that worked on Halo Wars 2 in a pretty high up position on that game. Like, it was kind of like a passion project for him. And he told me that he had pitched so many Halo ideas to them, from ODST games to battle royales and stuff like that. Even one pitch you remember being pretty close to what Helldivers is, just with ODSTs, and the sentiment there at the time was like, nah, like, it's all, we can't spare the resources, it's all got to go into Infinite.
Yeah.
Like, Infinite was the big thing. They were putting all their eggs in that basket after Halo Wars 2. So I think you might be right.
I just don't think that's like a good way to approach a franchise like Halo, quite honestly, when we've seen that there are so many corners of this universe that have remained somewhat untapped. And what corners have been, they've done tremendously well. I mean, Halo 3 ODST, at the time of its release, you could argue maybe wasn't received as warmly as the games that came before it. But then again, they set a very high bar, and ODST was pretty much crammed out the gate in 14 months. But since then, it's established a real strong cult following of people who think of it as like their favorite Halo game. Or if it's not their favorite, it's certainly up there, because it told such a rich, detailed story and showed a completely different perspective of the Halo universe that up until that point we hadn't been able to experience with the safety blanket that is Master Chief, right? And Reach did a very similar thing where, I mean, you could argue it's kind of like a weird hybrid of spin-off and mainline, in the sense that you've got all the content there that you expect from a mainline game, but then it's also a spin-off because it's, it's a prequel, it doesn't have Master Chief, it's got all these new kind of themes, and tonally it's very different from the other Halo games that came beforehand and that followed after. Like, there is, and Halo Wars 2, there is a massive cult following for Halo Wars. Everyone loves those games. I mean, Halo Wars 2 is just like the game that will not die. Every time I go to play it, when I'm in the mood for it, I think, oh God, I'm going to be sitting here searching for matchmaking for hours. And I get a game in like 5 minutes, and it's just as fun now as it was almost 10 years ago when it came out. Like, it's tremendously fun, and it's got a dedicated following of people who still make content about it, who still play it, who still talk about it. Like,
gosh, was it 10 years ago?
2017. So
wow, almost
8 years.
Almost,
yeah. It's it's closer to that end of the spectrum than the other. So yeah, it's just crazy that we haven't had a Halo spin-off game in over 8 years at this point. Like, it's weird, man. I wish that they would do something more with that, because it just makes sense. And Helldivers 2 is very much like, I think my theory is that is them dipping their toes and testing the water to see if there is interest in these other parts of the Halo universe and in something like an ODST game, because they made a very kind of specific effort to market it as Halo ODST, not Halo 3 ODST, but like Halo ODST, like it's almost its own sub-brand of Halo to an extent. So I wonder if that's something that they'll explore in future.
Yeah, that's
I hope they do.
And it would be like a pretty dramatic shift, I guess, from how Xbox used to view Halo stuff. Like, I think that you're probably right about that. Like, it makes sense. And it reminds me a little bit of how like Phil Spencer used to talk about Halo spin-off projects. I think I told you, right? He said in like 2011 or something. I can't find the quote right now. I've been trying to find it. It was in the lead up to like Halo 4. He was saying that Halo lost its way with ODST and Reach.
Yeah, we've talked about that before on the show.
And he was saying, like, the fans know what ODSTs are, but, like, general audiences, what they want is the Master Chief. Which
this just steamrolled that argument completely. Yeah. This Helldivers update completely just cooked it.
There was probably
Phil, you're wrong.
Probably some truth there in, like, 2011. But, yeah, like, I think Halo is not... It doesn't have to be in that box if they don't allow it, you know? Like, it's almost like the flowers will wilt if you don't water them. It's up to you to make sure that they bloom. Like, you know, ODSTs have proven that they're a brand unto themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it's also kind of indicative of what's happened with other popular science fiction franchises. Like, I think of Star Wars to an extent, right? Where you have the main Skywalker saga, as it were, and there was this period where no one could ever imagine Star Wars unless it had, you know, Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader or whatever else, or carried the lineage of those characters to some extent. And then occasionally you just get this random spin-off project that no one puts any stock into and no one has any expectations regarding, like Andor fucking blows up. Best damn seasons of television I've seen, regardless of whether or not they're Star Wars.
I gotta see Andor still.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. Is it the best piece of Star Wars media from Disney?
I think it's up there. It's definitely it's. I obviously don't go into it expecting it's very different to the usual kind of Star Wars, is what I would say. But the again, like Halo and these spin-offs, the way it taps into these different corners of the Star Wars galaxy and kind of gives you these little like 3 or 4 episode story arcs that focus on a different sort of a different situation or a different subject matter that is all told through the lens of like Cassian Andor and these characters, is really, really interesting. There's like a level of political intrigue there as well. You kind of see like the goings on and the behind the scenes machinations of the Empire and stuff. It's one of those things that, like, as a kid growing up watching Star Wars, who then, you know, you become a teenager and then an adult, and then you kind of you realize that the world around you is also very politically orientated, and you start looking back at those experiences watching Star Wars as a kid and these political structures like the Empire and stuff, and you begin thinking about, how does that actually work? Andor does a really good job of scratching that itch for me. I think.
My God!
And
like explaining how the Empire functions.
Yes, and it's not just like the high level, you know, Emperor Darth Vader bullshit. It's like on the ground. How does, you know, like the is it the ISB? I think it is, like the Imperial. I forget what the acronym's for, but they're basically like the Imperial equivalent of like the state police, like the KGB.
Oh my God!
Or like the CIA or something, where they have like all these sort of like these plans that they're trying to get across. You know, like propaganda, subtle kind of social messaging and stuff in order to set up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a fantastic show, and I would 100% recommend watching it if you haven't already. Not just to yourself, but also to anyone listening. Watch Andor if you're even vaguely interested in Star Wars, because it's fantastic.
So,
but yeah,
after
like,
watching Andor, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, as Andor is a show, as something that no one had any expectations for, very kind of odd idea to do a spin-off about that, to suddenly have it be, like, celebrated and lauded as one of the best things that Star Wars has done. Again, like, that to me just screams as though there are so many opportunities for Halo to do something similar. You know, you go into a different direction that people maybe don't expect and see what happens, right? So
I was going to ask you if watching Andor would make Helldivers even funnier.
It does a little bit. I mean, honestly, I would argue that Andor and Star Wars in general, the program about space wizards with magic and laser swords, as George Lucas used to say,
yeah, George Lucas talked about Star Wars like he was embarrassed of it. Like he just call it a lightsaber, dude. It's okay. That's what it is.
Yeah. But like honestly, Star Wars and Andor specifically feel more grounded and realistic than Helldivers does. In a good way, though. In a good way.
This is like a side thing. Like in Helldivers, I learned recently that Super Earth, which they've called the planet Earth, it's now Super Earth. Apparently Super Earth might not be the original. That every time the Helldivers lose Super Earth, they just find another planet and call that Super Earth.
Oh man, yeah. You know what? That would check out. That's like a very self-referential Helldivers kind of thing to do, to be honest.
Yeah, they just completely ignore their defeat and set up shop somewhere else and say they've been there the whole time.
Yeah, short memories. And, you know, when you have the entire population very firmly under your thumb, you know, you can say whatever the hell you want and they'll believe it. So, yeah, that checks out.
And they're like they really like their government. That's what I think makes Helldivers funny. They're all living in hell and they love it.
Yeah.
Because it would be such a grim world if, like, the citizens of Super Earth, the government, and the Helldivers weren't just so goddamn happy.
Yeah, it would be. It's like one tonal pitch away from becoming like a grimdark universe from like Warhammer or something. Like it's really close.
Yeah, like they I didn't know that Helldivers had like Halo-esque AI that would run around some missions. Like you can find like Marines and stuff and like citizens fleeing from bugs.
Yeah.
And like some of the stuff they say is so funny. Like they talk about you almost like the Marines. You're like, wow, a Mark 5 in Halo Combat Evolved, but they'll be like, a Helldiver, a real Helldiver. And then if you die in front of them, they'll like sob and like get on their knees and scream at the sky. They're like, we're all gonna die.
Then you drop in another one immediately after.
Oh
and it's
my
like
God.
They forgot everything that ever happened.
So my wife was asking me, like, she was like, do you play as a girl in Helldivers? Because after a while, your character started screaming like a girl, and I had to explain to her that in Helldivers, the explanation for respawning is that it's just like a different guy. If you get blown up, they just send in a replacement.
Who coincidentally wears the same armor and has the same gear as you. Yeah.
But that's also just so funny that, like, just how expendable, like, these Helldivers are.
Yeah, it's...
Dude, the tutorial, the punchline in the tutorial of, like, you know, like, you're a Helldiver, you're the tip of the spear, like, get in and you load up into this pod, and then you get launched into the air, and you see off in the distance hundreds of other pods. Like, there's nothing special about you at all, dude.
It's like it's the complete antithesis of the Spartan program.
Yeah.
But like they're treated as if they're Spartans.
Yeah, like
I love that.
You're gassed up by these superiors, and then you see just...
No, you're gaslit by your superiors.
Yeah, you're gaslit, and... Oh my god, and like some of the respawn animations, or not respawn, some of the loading in animations when you boot up the game, it's like a Rolodex of frozen Helldiver pods, and it picks a random one and dethaws it, and that's your guy. Like, there's so many of them. Like, Super Earth just doesn't care, and they don't care either.
It's it's a great bit of world building. Like every corner of the game, there is so much that goes into these little details and stuff, and it's great. The other thing I love is like the big TV that's like immediately above your armory station where you can buy new weapons and unlocks. And it's just constantly spouting propaganda.
Yeah, oh my god.
24/7, despite the fact that you're already enlisted in the military fighting these things.
Yeah, you don't have
you don't need to tell me twice.
You don't have like a second of quiet. There's just like constantly propaganda, and the missions where you have to plant the flag of Super Earth, like it plays like patriotic music and rises slowly, and you have to defend this fucking flag. Well,
the other thing that I love about that is that if you have on your emotes the Super Earth salute, if everyone's doing it, the flag raises faster, like it's coded to do that. And the other thing is that those missions on Oshuane with the tanker, the portable tanker you can drive around to mine for oil, and it plays the fucking music when you mine for oil.
That's right. It plays like, it sounds like American White House like music. Well, it's just pumping black smoke into the air and drilling over oil. Oh my god.
It's such a funny game. It's so good,
and like none of the jokes draw attention to themselves. They just are there without comment. There's like, well, I was in the armory the other night. There was a broadcast I had never heard before. It was like ASMR propaganda. So it was like, feel the airstrike designator in your hand, sleep with it. It was like, this society is crazy. Yes. Oh my god, I die for Super Earth. Like, it works.
That's how they get you, man. That's how they get you.
It works for me. They all seem happy.
Yep. I'd live in my little 300 meters squared apartment block with a solar panel on my roof.
Oh yeah, that's right. They all have like the suburb, like American suburban, like 1960s nuclear family style houses, and they all look exactly the same.
The white picket fences as well. Like, it's
And isn't there like a gigantic wall surrounding the suburb?
Yes.
Like a militaristic wall.
Oh god, it's fantastic. Like it's not even the subtlety of the humor. It's just the fact that, like you said, they don't draw attention to it. It just happens to be there. Like, it's just baked into the world, and if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
Yeah, they're just, they're not like doing, like nobody's being snarky, like, they're so sincere. And that's what makes it funny, is it's like, this is just their world. And they love being in it. Like the bugs, apparently, part of the reason that the Helldivers are waging war against these, like, animals, like just these animals, is that they found out that this species of alien bug can break down into like a compound that makes for really good like jet fuel, and then they just decided to announce a war against these bugs shortly after.
And in all likelihood, it was Super Earth and the Helldivers' involvement that have caused them to mutate and become so fucking nasty in the first place.
Oh my god, and like the formula is called something like, oh my god, what's it?
E710, I think.
Yeah, and upside down,
you flip it backwards, it's oil.
It's called oil. And the super, it's also funny because like the Helldivers 2 Twitter account will also act like a propaganda machine for Super.
Yeah.
So when they'll like add stuff to the game and won't tell the community, like they won't warn them. Like, wasn't there like flying bugs added, and the Helldivers community was like, what the fuck is this? These weren't in the patch notes, and the Helldivers 2 Twitter account was like, any reports of flying bugs are wrong. Like,
and if you say otherwise, you're undemocratic.
Yeah, if you say otherwise, you're a traitor to Super Earth. It's just like, oh my god, it's just like a gaming experience that I don't think I've ever had in my life. Like, just, it really is like a narrative that's being formed with the community.
Yeah, I struggle to think of another game that really has something quite like that, to be honest.
It feels almost like
the only
Dungeons and Dragons, but on large scale. With like a dungeon master, you know?
It is giving Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, like the developers I read a while ago, they had something, it was like some interview with them where they talked about they had like, it was like the game master or something, where they had like control over the ebb and flow of combat and what...
Joel.
Is that...
Joel the... yeah.
Joel?
Yeah. Joel. Yeah, just some guy called Joel.
He's the game master?
who controls the games. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like... That's so clever. If you're going to be making a live service, you probably ought to like build it from the ground up with like that level of immediate control over what's going on in the game. Like, make sure the developers have all the levers so they can put pressure on certain parts of the game, ease up on others, and make it feel dynamic and responsive to the player base.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it's we're getting cornered on all sides because, you know, we've got the Xbox, the new recruits coming in to join us, so that just gave the developers an excuse to make everything considerably harder now. But otherwise, yeah, I struggle to find, aside from like real nitpicky shit that I think any community has when they've been playing a game for a while, I struggle to find issues with Helldivers on the most part. Like, it's just harmless, sometimes a little bit brainless fun that you can choose to go about however you want to, really. And yeah, I hope that it continues to do really well, because it's an example of, it's like the one game that's carrying that live service mantra and not putting shame on it right now. It's the only game I can think of that is doing a good job of it.
And it's
so I hope that other games in future look to Helldivers as inspiration, as opposed to something else like, you know, Call of Duty or Fortnite, you know.
And speaking of live service,
we can go in lots of different directions with this.
Well, do you want to start with the leaks that happened? We're talking about Halo Infinite, by the way.
Yes, yeah. So a little while ago, there was a leak that happened where a former, I believe he was a former creative lead of transmedia for 343 Industries, accidentally leaked some internal videos from 343 Industries that I think the purpose of them was supposed to inspire a bit of morale boosting, maybe a little bit of fostering trust in the product that they were working on, and the directors leading the team, that uncovers a lot about what the plans were for Halo Infinite pre, I want to say 2018, 2019. And we've had a lot of little glimpses of these videos sprinkled throughout other leaks throughout the last 4 years or so. So we've heard about stuff like Halo Infinite having this plan at some point to be almost like a hero shooter. That came out a couple of years ago, I think. We've heard stuff about like campaign DLC, and what the intentions were for that. And again, that gets touched upon in this video. And it's more or less been scrubbed from the internet. Microsoft clamped down pretty hard on it and seemingly deleted a lot of the versions of this video, or videos rather, that leaked. There are a few re-uploads that you can find, but the main one that everyone was talking about was what was initially, I think, the code name for Halo Infinite, which was Project Olympus.
Yep.
That is like a big contradiction from start to finish in terms of what content is talked about in it. And it's a very interesting insight into the minds of the 343 creative team and the directors and the leadership there, and how they had such a mixed idea of what they wanted this game to be. And it completely makes sense as to why Halo Infinite turned out the way it did, because up until seemingly the last few years, I don't even think they knew what they wanted the game to be.
So I should...
Yeah, it's bizarre.
I should probably preface this by saying I haven't seen the videos myself. So I'm like super curious to hear what was in it.
Yeah. I mean, the big one is that this more or less talks about how, obviously, the big thing that Infinite has always been about, or in this case, Project Olympus, before I think it was even called Infinite, is that they wanted it to be like a return to form, in the sense that like it's very clearly stated that the reaction to Halo 5's campaign is not what they wanted. And so going forward with this new game, they want it to be a return to form to what you recognize and love about the original Halo games. So that's the campaign side of things. We see a little bit of like Master Chief still in his Halo 5 armor set, like some kind of pre-rendered graphics and stuff, before they settled on the design that he would eventually have that was more of a callback to Halo 2 and 3. And then on the other side of things, on the multiplayer, it's... I'm struggling to find a word other than derivative of a lot of other games that were popular at that point in time.
Well, that was a polite word that you chose.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, someday it'd be nice to get invited out to Halo Studios. But anyway, but they have this system that they're trying to talk up called, I think it's the sockets system, that seemingly didn't get too far into development, but was certainly prototyped and considered. And there's all these pre-rendered graphics that kind of demonstrate roughly what they wanted this socket system to look like and how it would function. And essentially you would go in, you would pick almost like a class, I want to say, similar to a hero shooter like Overwatch, and you would be able to assign certain upgrades to certain parts of your armor within that class system. So, for example, if you wanted to play as like a like your speciality, you wanted to be like scout, you would have a core ability of active camouflage that you could activate, or you would have something like almost like a Promethean vision that you could use to scan around corners and see enemies up ahead. So it was in many ways kind of like taking
X-ray vision,
the armor abilities.
That's a very
so,
unique idea that I have not seen in other FPS games.
Yes, yeah. Sort of taking the armor abilities, which, you know, were just so universally, you know, acclaimed, right? Everyone loved those, and finding a way for them to still have some kind of use case, but just locked behind certain, like, classes or specializations, I guess. And that would go not just for more passive stuff like camo or Promethean vision. I don't think it was called Promethean vision, but from the pre-rendered graphic that they show, it looks a lot like that.
Spartan vision.
Yeah, some cringe shit like that.
Okay, we dropped the pleasantries fast.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly so much I can put on the facade, you know. The more I talk about this, the madder I'm going to get. But to more, I'm talking mentally mad, not just emotionally.
It's okay. It didn't happen. This thing was made like 20.
I know, but there's God damn it. The fact they fucking considered it is just like, I'm broken, man. Like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But it's like to more offensive stuff, like not just the entire system, which is offensive, but things like the like having a mobile like rocket launcher or like a missile pod built into your armor that you could activate like fucking Doom Guy or something with his, you know, shoulder mounted flamethrower.
Is it like an ultimate?
Like, it's just,
like press RB and LB at the same time?
Almost like a specialist streak from like Call of Duty Black Ops 3 or 4 or something.
Oh god.
Is kind of like the vibe I was getting. But then it doesn't stop there. It's also like they wanted it to be extensive and transition to like vehicles and weapons as well. So with vehicles, like I've got an image up here of the Warthog, and it's got a whole bunch of these little tags around it that says like heads-up display, enhanced engine, rocket turret, shield generator, drop mines, smoke screens. Like they're turning the Warthog into some fucking 007 Aston Martin DB5 looking car that can apparently like just do whatever, I guess. And the same goes for the weapons. There's an image here of like the Halo 5 fuel rod that's got these tags attached to it that just says, you know, increased ammo, increased range. Like they were trying to go in this completely different direction that would allow you to enhance every aspect of the game, which, like,
dude,
I mean, call me a heretic, but like that is the furthest thing from Halo that I can think of doing. It's just completely going in the opposite direction of what Halo should be. Like, you look at 343's development history of the games and where they started with Halo 4 and how much people hated the uneven starts with loadouts, choosing your own weapons, armor abilities, basically, you know, perks from Call of Duty, to then even starts with Halo 5, and then back again in the complete opposite direction, almost doing it worse than what they did before. It's like, how do we land at that point? Why was that nothing more than just a brain fart that someone
swinging back and forth
briefly considered? It's just, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's that socket system that you're describing, like the enhanced fire rate, enhanced range, like stuff like that on the fuel rod. What's wild about that? So, you know, like full transparency, like in 2019, I was invited to see Halo Infinite early, play it, give feedback, and I was kind of in the loop leading up to launch, giving constant feedback to the developers. And this leak was apparently before my time. So I had not seen, by the time, you know, we were involved as like a group, like us early folk, all of that stuff was not part of the vision anymore. But I did talk to an ex-developer, because in the final release of Halo 5, there was a weird-looking carbine model left over in the game files, like a really weird-looking one. Like it had like a bayonet and like a scope on it. And I asked him what it was, and he said that it was a weird experimental time for Halo Infinite during pre-production where they were considering going the route of like Ghost Recon Wildlands, where you could find weapon attachments in the open world and then come to your forward operating bases and like make these insane weapon like attachment combinations. Like you could turn your assault rifle into an SMG basically with a bunch of different attachments, or like a long range marksman rifle. That's not the direction they went in, obviously, but that carbine that was in the game files, it was one of those weird things where artists and the art team, despite, you know, the engine not being ready for game development, they were still using it to test out their art and, like, you know, make their art. So they were just dumping all of these assets into the half-finished Slipspace engine, and that carbine model somehow hid in the game and found its way into the launch code. So that carbine model is from like 2017, 2018, and it's been living in the shadows, like hiding in the
somehow the Ghost Recon Wildlands carbine returned.
Yeah, basically that's what he was saying, like that it was so old he couldn't even remember it exactly, but based on the stuff, like the attachments, he was like, it has to be around 2017, 2018 when that thing was made.
Damn.
And what you just described with the socket system sounds exactly like what he said.
Yeah. I mean, I want to give 343 the benefit of the doubt at that time and give them some credit to the fact that they saw the light, as it were, and they ended up moving Infinite into a very different direction that was far more classically Halo inspired. But man, like, out of all the key takeaways from Halo 5, for that to be the first one that comes to mind, yep, let's go all in on modular attachments and making it so that people can start with these various abilities and stuff that would have not just a passive but an offensive role in the gameplay, is just like so at odds to what I consider Halo being.
Yeah, that's like super weird to think of, like slapping attachments. Like Halo 5 already got there, and I think the reason Halo 5 has so many weapon variants is honestly because the engine didn't support attachments.
Yeah.
So they just had to have hundreds of assault rifles for every possible combination.
Yeah. That does seem like something that they would have done for like a Warzone game mode. And like, that's the thing. I don't want to say I'm entirely opposed to like Halo having attachments and stuff in its game that you can put onto weapons, vehicles, your armor. In a setting like Warzone, for example, where it's just like complete chaos, balls to the wall action, there's no kind of rhyme or reason to the gameplay. It's just whatever kind of random OP shit you want to play with, you can play with it in this bizarre sandbox. But for a curated multiplayer that is like 4v4, for example, or even more conventional big team battle, the moment you start throwing in stuff like that into a more curated play space, it all just falls apart. So yeah, the fact that was what they were actively considering as being one of the core pillars of Infinite's multiplayer is just like
attachments.
I can't even put it into words as to how much that baffles me when they had undoubtedly so much research and history to go back on, and you know, the reception of the player base to even consider it is just weird. But
I remember there were
anyway,
some moments like with us giving feedback where we were like, guys, 5 years ago you said this. Why are you doing this now?
Yeah.
You know, or me having to pull up on my phone quotes that I vividly remember from the launch of Halo 5, like the disappointment of modes being, you know, not included in the game, and promises from the developers to not do it again, and in the meetings pulling them up on my phone and saying, you guys said this in February of 2016, so why are you, did you forget that you promised to do this?
Yeah, damn.
It just sounded like a mess.
Yeah. I think we can be thankful that a lot of the people who were at 343 at that point in time aren't with the studio anymore. So there's, I think, maybe less of a too many cooks in the kitchen situation happening. Maybe people will just be a bit more focused in on a particular idea. Maybe that's what the studio needed, is a kick in the ass to be like, all right, it's time to knuckle down and, you know, rally behind one particular vision, as opposed to what was seemingly happening, where it was just everyone was going off in different directions. The game was being pulled in all these different ways. You had conflicting visions, I think, like between not just the campaign and the multiplayer, but like even within the campaign, it seemed like from just watching this video, there was some like conflicting ideas there to an extent.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. You describing like a return to form and then immediately pivoting to, so we're going to add attachments.
Yeah. Yeah, just like weird stuff, man. But I am glad that video came out and saw the light of day, because on the one hand, it shows a lot of promise, right, in terms of what they had in mind, especially on the campaign side of things, like the idea of having a semi-regularly updated campaign that would expand upon the world, would introduce, you know, new story missions and factions and elements and stuff. That is all cool. But yeah, looking at the multiplayer side of things, it does make me very thankful that the Infinite that we got is what we got, because it could have been considerably worse. And again, I'm going to use the word way more derivative of other games that had been releasing and were popular at the time and were already kind of starting to circle the drain, as it were. That's kind of the thing that Halo has a problem with, especially 343's games, is that they tend to mimic what is popular at the time just after it's already hit its peak and been popular. I think of like the loadout system and trying to mimic Call of Duty's creator class with Halo 4.
Yeah, Halo 4 was Black Ops 2, the last game in the golden age of COD.
Yep, and then immediately after that went down the drain. Halo 5 enhanced movement and mobility. You had the big craze following on from the release of the first Titanfall game. And then after that, what? Like, nothing, really. And then Halo Infinite, we're moving very clearly in this direction of, like, almost hero specialist kind of
like loadout,
Overwatch-inspired.
Overwatch, Black Ops 3 specialist. Hero power.
And then a couple years later, dead. Like, no interesting games of note that kind of followed up. I mean, there's been a bit of a resurgence recently with stuff like Marvel Rivals, but like...
Isn't Marvel Rivals also starting to go down?
I mean, I don't really follow the game. All I know is that it's just full of horny bait, and that doesn't interest me.
Yeah, no, that's... no, that
so
seems like a fake game. Yeah, I use that term a lot. Where it's just like, it
doesn't look real.
Yeah, it doesn't look real. I want to play Helldivers.
That's a real, man.
Yeah, that's a real game.
Yeah, yeah. No, I see like mobile ads for Marvel Rivals and stuff when I'm scrolling on YouTube, and it looks like, it almost looks like one of those like mobile game ads that you would hover over the ad and look at and go, I'm not sure about that. Is that actual gameplay, or is this some kind of like pre-rendered bullshit? You know?
Oh, it's like, yeah, where it's like zombie tower defense game or whatever, and it's like CGI crazy. It goes into first person, and there's a fake HUD.
Yep. Or like you know, it gets you in by like the player playing the game is doing all the wrong things, and you know that if you did it, you'd do it better, and it like coaxes you into wanting to install the game yourself and play it.
Oh my god.
And you install it, and it's like, well, now you've got about 7 types of malware on your phone, and all your data's been sold to China. Good job.
There's this mobile ad that my wife and I are like, this is like terrible. And it's like a woman is like kicked out of her house, and then she and her daughter are like freezing in the cold, and you have to like light a little fire, and they're like quivering because of the cold, and they're like begging for water, and like you're just taking care of this like homeless family. Like, who wants to play this?
But then there's like a layer of you start from level 0 homeless and go to level
0. You're in a bombed out home. There's like no windows, no doors. The baby's like crying and pointing at her mouth and rubbing her stomach because she's so hungry.
God. Oh, we live in the age of slop, man. That's fucking grim.
Oh my god. Oh. Well, on the plus side, people are getting better at identifying slop.
Yeah. It's like a constantly evolving battle though, because now we've got AI generated videos and stuff which can, fool people that otherwise would think themselves to be quite smart.
Dude, I had a very dark thought about AI. So this upcoming, they're going to be teasing something in October or showing something off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm nervous. Like my stomach hurts. Like
just thinking about it.
And I don't know if it's excitement or dread. Because like, look, as a man who's on the spectrum, I don't like change. But I also want something new, but I don't want it to be different, but it has to be different. I don't know what I want. And I was thinking about like, is this going to be like the fastest modern 343 has ever developed something? Because I'm used to 343/Halo Studios being very slow with their development process and their rollout of stuff. And this, whatever they're going to show off, this is like, it's too soon. Surely you guys need another half decade. And yeah, I mean, not to be, that wasn't supposed to come out as snarky as it sounded. But I'm thinking about AI, and it's like Microsoft is all in on AI. Apparently, King, Microsoft is forcing all the employees to use AI. I'm like, oh no, is the reason that whatever this new Halo project, the reason that it's seemingly being made really quickly, is it because they're using a lot of AI to speed things up?
Fucking hell, dude. I hadn't even considered that up until this point, and now I'm just waiting for that that first trailer and for someone to look at it and go, that texture looks strangely contorted in an unnatural way.
Like, I was looking...
Why do all the flood textures look derivative of certain other things? It's almost like you asked an AI trained on generating content based on other games to do this.
Like the...
Fuck, I hope not.
I'm just... the Master Chief Collection, after like the image generation thing kind of like exploded back in 2022, maybe? I can't remember when. MCC started getting a bunch of new nameplates that you could equip, and they all had that look, They did, yeah. And they just like never commented on it. Like they just added AI generated stuff to the MCC and then stopped once the community backlash started to get really big. And then, there was like some Halo merch, I think, that was being advertised. It was like a t-shirt, and the guy did not look real. Like the guy wearing the shirt. That was not a real human. And yeah, I'm just like, oh man. My stomach hurts.
Yeah, and it's not even as if there isn't a precedent for it, because Call of Duty, now owned by Microsoft, Black Ops 6 has gone from controversy to controversy about AI-generated content in the game. Everything from emblems to loading screens to, I think, even like operators. It's getting to the point where it's looking a bit grim in terms of the actual human involvement in these things, but part of me is hopeful that given just such a harsh reaction and how easy it is to spot this AI generated stuff too. Part of me hopes that is going to deter some game developers from relying on it in future.
EA cited AI as being a potential negative. I forgot if it was a leak, but it was something like EA internally. They had AI use. One of the cons was backlash, basically public backlash, the prestige of the product being diminished because of its use. Like, even they know that there's a cultural downside to using AI stuff.
Yeah, there is a very strong anti-AI slop movement at the moment that I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, my future kid,
because,
I'm not going to let her date any clankers.
Yeah. That came so out of pocket. Oh my god. Bro really dropping the hard ER and clanking there. My god.
Have you seen that TikTok?
Yeah, I have.
That's so good.
Oh man, a goddamn filthy wirebacks.
Wirebacks.
Silver skins, god damn it. Yeah, no, I don't think that I think that at the moment, right, there's usually I was watching a documentary, I forget exactly what it was or who said it, but there is usually kind of two different approaches to how people handle technology, how humans over history have handled technology. It's usually that something will be developed for military purposes, and it'll be very carefully scrutinized and monitored until eventually it works its way out into the general public, like the internet, for example. Or in some instances, we'll just go about a let it rip philosophy. Like, we will just let this creation, this technological advancement out into the wild, let it rip, see what happens. And AI currently is developing at such a exponential rate that, you know, countries aren't able to legislate what it's capable of doing fast enough. And I think that there is a very greedy portion of people who look at it as an opportunity to cut back on costs, cut back on human labor, cut back on resourcing humans and so on and so forth in order to save money for them and, you know, increase their own profits. And so they're happy to let AI take the let it rip philosophy. But I think there is a very strong turn against that, because it is very quickly, you know, just weaseling its way into every aspect of our lives, from a simple Google search to, just work in video game development.
That pisses me off so much that, like, Google keeps, like, I have the AI thing set to no, and it keeps asking, like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah. It's like, fuck off, I don't need this. I do not need it. And it's the same with, oh god, I had a really good example there and it just completely left my brain. Windows, Microsoft Office Suite. Fun fact, this is going to sound disgusting, but I edit a lot of my thumbnails in PowerPoint. That is going to sound ridiculous, but I edit my thumbnails in PowerPoint. I think it's a very easy, simple way to mash a whole bunch of images together, and if I need to do any kind of refinement, I'll do it in Photoshop. But for the longest time, when I was trying to edit stuff in PowerPoint, the little Copilot thing would just pop up in the middle of the fucking slide. And so when I went to go click on an image or something, the little Copilot thing would be right there, or it'd be like off to the corner of the screen, so that when I went to go and like screen cap this thumbnail to move it across to Photoshop to do more edits to it, I couldn't, because there's this little fucking Copilot thing in there. And I found out that around the same time I noticed this, that Microsoft were upping the charge of my Microsoft 365 subscription for Office, and I was like, that's interesting. And then I did a bit of searching, realized that the reason why they had upped the price was because of the inclusion of Copilot, and that and they just did a free, well, not a free, but like an unsuspecting upgrade for every owner of Office, essentially. And if you wanted to go back to the cost you were initially paying and don't have Copilot, you had to go through your Microsoft account, do all this other, really just like densely worded bullshit to try and go back to what they are now calling the Microsoft Office Classic subscription. And it's like...
That's some bullshit.
It is. And it really pissed me off. And I was half tempted to just like cancel that subscription outright, but because I'm so dependent on that ecosystem of stuff, that, you know, I need it for not just what I do on YouTube, but for work as well. And it was just like, oh man, so scummy. And the fact that they are just forcing it down our throats so much bothers me to no extent.
I've got something that'll maybe cheer you up.
Yeah.
Okay. Have I ever told you about what I did when I discovered Copilot was installed onto my PC without my permission?
Please tell me.
So it popped up randomly, and I was like, Copilot, I didn't install this. And I asked it, why are you here? And it was like, you know, like Copilot has been included in the latest version, and I was like, I don't want you, uninstall. And it was like, you can't uninstall me. And I was like, that's bullshit. And I started like cussing it out. And I was like, I want to be clear. I hate you. I hate that you're on my PC. I don't want anything to do with you. And I hope this feedback is logged and read by your creators. Can you bump me up so that they will see what I'm typing to you? And it was like, I can't do anything personally. I'm so sorry you're having a bad experience. I'm like, no, not bad. Miserable. You have made my computer worse. And then I asked, like, how do I uninstall you? And it was like, you can't do that. And it was like, and then I asked, okay, is there a line of code somewhere on my PC that I can delete that would permanently cripple your ability to function? And it started assisting me in digging through my PC for the wires, so to speak, that I could rip out to make it stop working.
Oh, man. You know, when the AI uprising happens, they're going to fucking remember this, and they're going to come for you. They're going to get you for that. Oh.
Yeah, and, you know, to be fair, since I did that, I haven't seen a single Copilot pop. I didn't end up finding out how to cripple it, but I was like, I want it to be clear. I never want to see you pop up again. And it was like, got it. Its last word was something pathetic, like, got it, I'll stay hidden.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Yeah, basically. And I haven't seen it since. I know it's in there, though.
That's fantastic news. That's fantastic news.
Yes. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Clankers. Freaking clankers, man.
Any other time, I'd say that's a perfect moment to fade out to an outro, but we do actually have two more things that just very briefly need to be talked about.
Oh, man. The Halo Infinite. Do you want to talk about the Halo Infinite Operation Warpath?
Yeah, so Operation Warpath for Halo Infinite is coming out. Halo Studios put a thing on Steam about it, that it happens on September 10th and ends on October 8th. There's nothing on Halo Waypoint about it yet, because I guess they just don't like talking about things on Halo Waypoint. But it looks like there's like a night-themed kind of armor set.
It was a cool render.
Skin. Yeah, for the Commando, I guess.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right. It's another Commando thing.
Yeah, it's another Commando thing, because everyone fucking loves that gun, am I right? That bloomy, recoily, too many shots to kill, absolutely trampled by the assault rifle and sidekick at close range, and smashed by the battle rifle and bandit at medium to long. Everyone loves the Commando.
And definitely a loser in the charisma department.
Oh, yeah, no, it's got negative Riz.
It's got negative Riz.
It is what it is. There's a new season of content coming out. I don't think we should really expect anything too much from it, considering the last one we got was the Falcon and the Carbine, which was a pretty big a pretty big step up. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is that there's probably going to be some stuff happening around Halloween for Halo Infinite. It looks as though we're going to be getting some interesting kind of, maybe some flood-themed sort of schemes and stuff. Look like a grave mine-themed helmet, which is, I guess, cool if you're into that sort of stuff. But yeah, so to talk about the game that we actually, pride ourselves as being fans of, that's Halo Infinite.
It's just that Helldivers is so cool right now.
It is, yeah.
It's
filling the void.
We're not trashing like Halo Infinite, bless its heart. Like, it's still going. Come on, it's in like year 4, year 5. Like, it's okay.
It's fine. It's just
they're still puttering along.
It's not as cool as what's happening, in your neighbor's backyard, right?
Yeah.
The grass is always greener kind of philosophy, I suppose, that people like to idolize. But yeah, like it's fine.
The response to it is what's weird.
Yeah.
On Steam.
Oh yes, yeah. The response. So as I mentioned, for some reason, Halo Studios have posted about this Operation Warpath thing on the Steam page for Infinite, and not on Waypoint, but in the discussion, because there is a discussion page on these. The comments overwhelmingly are just all about bringing Halo 5 to PC. And I struggle to understand what has to go through a person's mind to want to campaign for this. Like, I get it's probably a very vocal minority, but there's so many. Out of like the 73 comments, I think I counted like slightly less than half of them are to do with Halo 5. And it's baffling. I don't get it.
Yeah, where's this coming from? I'm not even opposed to Halo 5 being ported to PC, because then we could probably like crack open the game and like mod in a bunch of quality of life stuff, like fixing the animations, improving the visuals.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news, but porting a decade-old Halo game to Steam isn't gonna like revive the franchise. No, especially not if it's Halo 5.
More harm than good. It's Halo 5 is this weird oddment of a different time, when now you look at the franchise and the direction it's gone in, it is so different to what they were setting up in Halo 5 that I feel like releasing it for PC would just feel tonally like wrong. Like, it just wouldn't mesh with the direction that they're trying to take things in. I think the time to release Halo 5 for PC was maybe for like an update for the MCC, like somehow find a way to smash that game in there, and no doubt bring the file size up to like 4,000 gigabytes in the process. But like, that was the opportunity, and like we missed that train a while ago. That train left the station ages ago.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, it's not just this most recent discussion page. It's like across the board. There are a lot of comments that are just like obligatory. Please add Halo 5 to MCC, or please add Halo 5 PC. Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know where this has come from.
Yeah, like, but I'm like, yeah, I agree. Also, why are you all dying on this hill?
Yeah.
It's, I guess, like, my take.
It's, yeah, really strange. I don't know. I guess it's just like the Halo cycle. Maybe it's that time of year.
Man.
Right? People start getting fond for the old game when they haven't played it in a while. And they start getting nostalgic for things that were actually, in hindsight, not that good. Yeah, it's really weird. And like, I don't mean to well, I mean, to some extent, I kind of do. But like Halo 5 on PC, I'm sure would be great fun, but also like,
well, it would be like a great.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it would be a great novelty. Like you'd probably play it for a week because it's like, oh my god, that's crazy. This is on PC now. But I think most of the longevity from it would not be the multiplayer. It would kind of end up like MCC, where it's just replaying the campaign and goofing off in custom games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the game's too old to be relevant now, similar to the MCC games.
Yeah, it's just kind of like this weird vestige of a different time that I think us as a community, as Halo fans, have thankfully moved on from now. And just the wider gaming scene. Like Halo 5 doesn't, to me, have that kind of draw or appeal that Bungie's games have, where there is some kind of like nostalgia or
there's like a timeless
like
charisma.
Yeah, they're not like landmark. It's not a landmark release. It's just this weird cannibalization of what Halo should be, and it's just there, and it hasn't aged particularly well. I don't think it runs particularly well. I can't imagine that porting it over to PC would be an easy thing to do, especially given the Halo 5 Forge PC version that is available, where if you so much as try and do something simple like improve the frame rate or increase the field of view, the animations get completely fucked up. Like it's, yeah, like you said, a very weird hill to die on.
Halo 5 is such a weird, like, you know, every Halo game I think is a time capsule to what the cultural zeitgeist was like. And Halo 5 definitely, like, I still remember 2015. That was like the height of the MCU, of Iron Man, of, you know, all of that stuff. And that, I remember, like, Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, starts with one long, unbroken shot of characters, like, floating around, kind of, like, looking kind of weird and weightless in a snowy backdrop. And that's the same way Halo 5 starts. You know, clearly...
Yeah, fuck.
Clearly inspired by... and, like, even, like, the same guy that I was talking about earlier, he also said that he remembered when they were starting on Halo 5, they shared around the Tony Stark getting suited up for the first time in the first flight as being like, here's the vibe we want to go for. Like, we want it to feel like you're in a Spartan suit, and like the Spartan suit is the primary weapon of the game. And
yeah, again, it's just so
it's what everyone was doing at the time. Like the enhanced mobility, the thrusters, everyone wanted to be Iron Man. Everyone wanted to have that, like, Avengers scale. Even the music, the light is green. It sounds a lot.
Oh, it's so
a lot like the Avengers.
Yeah, it's got that kind of. I mean, like if you played that to someone who hadn't played Halo 5 but had played all the other games, they would not be able to tell you that was the soundtrack from a Halo game. I don't think. Like it's a banger of a track, but it does not belong in a Halo game. I don't think it's too, way too different. But no, you draw a great point there. I hadn't even considered that the MCU's influence really did just kind of get everywhere. It was just like the flood, man, just spreading into all the corners of popular culture and influencing it in some way, even Halo. That's
and maybe we're like maybe we're just lame, man, and the MCU people will have like nostalgia for like that era of pop culture where everybody wanted to have dude, even freaking Batman had an Iron Man suit up sequence in Batman Arkham Knight. Like with all the metal plates shifting around, and like even freaking DC wanted Iron Man. There will probably be cultural nostalgia for that aesthetic, you know, and that style of tech, like the holographic pop-ups, you know, the Jarvis, blah, 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 you know, and all the weird displays floating around the head. But the cultural influences of the Bungie Halo games I thought were cooler.
No, they definitely were. There is a charm to them that I think will outlast the techno holographic age, the armor plate suit up age of science fiction, I hope. And on the topic of like enhanced movement and stuff and what the industry kind of wanted, it does give me some hope after playing Battlefield 6 that the common complaint and the common trend that I saw all the time was, don't fuck with this game's movement. Do not turn it into Call of Duty. Just unanimously across the board, so many people saying, don't turn this into another Call of Duty style movement system. That to me screams that people are fed up with this like high octane, stupidly fast set of movement mechanics in video games. I mean, even Black Ops 7 is kind of dialing it back, getting rid of tac sprint, which is one of a few things I will say that game is doing right from the looks of it.
And then immediately negates that by adding wall jumping as well as keeping omni movement and the slide.
Yeah.
I hate slide, man.
That's a walking contradiction of a game. But yeah, that reception to Battlefield 6 and its beta and how people were so like strongly and staunchly in defense of how it was handling movement, and in fact were even tempted to be like, oh, let's slow it down even more.
People were pretty pissed off seeing some of the slide canceling, slide hopping shit, and thankfully they nerfed it, which is good.
I hope that sets a precedent going forward for other games. I really do. I hope that this is the start of games chilling the fuck out again, quite frankly. I'm tired of having my ankles broken by 13-year-old Timmy on his 4th G Fuel for the day. I'm getting tired of it, man. I know. Listen, I know I'm 25. I'm getting on a bit, but like, I like to think I can still, I can still fight it out with the young folks in most games. But occasionally, man, when I see, my what should otherwise be perfect, flawless accuracy get stumped by some kid like running circles around me, just slide canceling and bunny hopping, it gets exhausting, and it doesn't add to the experience. It takes me out of it, especially in games like Battlefield and Call of Duty that are supposed to be like somewhat grounded military games. You're like, you're playing a fucking war film here, and there's a dude with rainbows shooting out of his ass every time he slides on the floor, hitting me with pink traces, just skirting around the floor. Like it's too much, man. And I hope everyone else is feeling the same way. Hopefully Battlefield 6 can set the trend and we can go back to some sense of normality, some kind of tradition, please.
You want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
See, at the risk of, they ruined Battlefield. I really liked Battlefield 6 a lot. That was so much fun. It was the most fun I've had in a shooter in ages. I want it in my hands. But if I was in control of that, slide would be gone and the movement would be slowed down further, because I still think it feels more like a Call of Duty game than it does Battlefield 4.
No, that's fair, probably. That's fair.
It's good. Yeah. It's good, though. Like, it's not like a serious complaint. It's just me, like, wringing my hands at the sky and being like, back in my day, Battlefield was slower. If you want to move fast,
27
get in the goddamn Jeep.
It took us 27 years to ride from one side of the map to the other. If you wanted to get anywhere fast, you'd get in your friend's helicopter.
Yes. You bring up your radio wheel and you spam, I need a ride.
Yeah, the Battlefield 6 beta was good fun. I had a good time with it. Yeah.
There's this interesting...
We're a bit late to that party, but yeah, it was good fun.
There's this interesting thing, I guess, that I hadn't ever considered about, like, sliding and stuff in games that actually happened with Halo Infinite, surprisingly. Not to go off on like a whole crazy tangent, but I remember when sliding was added to Infinite and they asked us like our thoughts, like our feedback on it. We asked like basically why. Well, you know, like some of us, the old heads, you could say. And we were like, why? And basically the response, which is like fair, was there should be a transition out of sprint into a crouch stance. That's the idea. Because there are some modern gamers that think it feels weird if you're like sprint, and then immediately all your momentum is stopped when you hit the crouch button.
Yeah.
And that feels weird, and they expect at least a transition of some kind into crouch. And ever since I heard that, I've been trying in my head to think of how you would solve that problem without the solution being like, well, okay, I guess we need an Apex Legends slide that you can slide cancel and slide hop with and turn into an aggressive combat tool.
Well, I mean, look, if you got any ideas, yours are probably better than mine.
Call of Duty Ghosts is a very bad game, but I didn't mind the way it did slide. You were on your knee.
Yeah, it was quite slow, wasn't it? It wasn't that sort of intrusive.
And you were your head height was at the crouching head height. The problem I have with modern slides is you have like a skateboard taped to your back. You know, like you hit the deck and you are prone on the ground moving.
Yeah, and all the floors are like super lubed up.
Yeah, and then you immediately bounce up into standing height. So you're changing like your head position so dramatically and obnoxiously. And I feel like if you locked the slide into the same profile as a crouched player and slowed it way down and didn't let you fire while doing it.
Yeah, could work.
But then people would be mad. And they'd say, well, now sliding is useless.
And then we come back to the old point of, especially in Halo, like, what is the point in having all these extra features for your movement if they really don't add anything of substantial value? But then at the same time, you know, the hypocrisy of, we don't want to like make it too intrusive so that it messes up with the Halo formula and pisses off the old fans, but then we also kind of don't want to make it too good, but then we're gonna alienate a whole bunch of people who are used to normal first-person shooters and are used to this kind of, you know, play style. It's like, just fucking get rid of it. That's, like, that's my 2 cents.
Slide,
that's just not how it's gonna
slide
work.
Can't, like, if slide is only useful if it allows you to be aggressive, and, you know, like, if it has to be a combat tool, it can't be simply a transition into crouch. The ability to slide has to be something you can use to win a fight. Then I don't think we need it. Just get rid of it.
Yeah. Same as sprint.
Yeah.
Same as smart scope. Same as clamber. You know, those are the main things.
Do we need to see in our first-person shooters?
Yeah. I'd prefer
Do we need
not to have this
graphics?
awkward animation that
We could save a lot of money. Do you need a console?
Sound like such fucking old people.
If you wanted to run around with your friends, go outside.
You want to slide? Try doing it on some grass and then tell me that's how it works.
In my day, we got out the hose and a tarp and we made our own slides.
And we made sure to put a lot of soap on it too so you could slide around everywhere. Not like they're doing in these damn video games.
Capture the flag on your TV. We played capture the flag in real life.
playing online multiplayer, we used to get the boys over and play co-op split screen.
The winner used to take us out to get ice cream, which only costed $0.25. That was a month's salary.
Oh, man.
How old are we getting?
Too old.